Hello everyone, welcome to Community Impact. I'm Reena Augustine and today I have the pleasure to interview Lynne Rose, who is a Brisbane-based actress. In the past 4 years has changed her work location from a high school classroom to a film set. She has been on set of TV productions such as Young Rock and Grace beside Me Plus, feature films such as Blackwater Abyss, Occupation Rainfall and the Untitled Elvis Presley Project. In her spare time, she loves Zumba, aqua and dancing with her Bollywood crew. She currently has a speaking role in an independent feature film called My World, where she will be playing the role of the psychologist. In the past month, she has also been on set for 2 major productions. She spent time in Chandigarh, Delhi, Jaipur and Agra. She booked a tour with Trinitra Tours, where one of her stops was to Mother Teresa's orphanage in Agra. That night, she vowed to return to India to volunteer with the street children to give back to the Indian people. She returned to India in 2017 and volunteered with an NGO called Jamgat, who ran 3 shelters from street children. She spent 10 days in the girls' shelter, but it was an experience that would change her life. During that time, she returned to Delhi Dance Academy and did another Bollywood workshop. She also went into the offices of Trinitra Tours and proposed a union with Jamgat for a win-win situation for both companies. After 2 years, finally that reunion happened in 2019. She has been a model for red carpet functions, multicultural fashion shows over the past 2 years, where she represents Australia on the catwalk. Currently, she is modeling for Indie Vibes Boutique and Minty Bell Wholesaler. Last year, when COVID hit, she decided to expand her horizons, so ventured into voiceovers and radio. Each week through the pandemic, she was the Aussie foreign correspondent on the ground for a Texan radio station called Radio Azad. One of her favorite pastimes is training her dog buddy, new tricks, learning languages, plus catching up with family and friends. Please welcome the gorgeous Lynne Rose.
Thank you, Reena. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, absolutely, Lynne. And it's been over a year now, and you've been doing so many things. I've seen the community channels, the radio shows, the Radio Azad that is based in America, and you're doing it from here.
Yep.
And also you're still in touch with the Dance Academy back in Delhi. You are performing, doing the online classes, and connecting people, as always you have done from the childhood.
Yes.
So, what's new?
Well, I actually left the education department at the end of last year to go on the major film set, and I was a bit concerned when I did, because it's been a pretty safe, solid job for many, many years.
How many years?
25 plus.
Big risk, big change.
Major risk, major change, especially in the middle of COVID.
That's right.
As well too. So I actually know a few people that have changed jobs during COVID, but the opportunity was just, I didn't want to miss it. I did not want to miss it. So it was worth walking away.
And you're happy about it?
Oh, very happy about it.
So in the midst of pandemic, you decided, okay, now education, enough of education,
Yes.
Let's go into the film set. So that was your passion?
Yes, I think acting feeds my soul. So I discovered about 5 years ago, after I had a medical situation that made me rethink about what I was going to do. And so I just went, you know what, acting has been one thing I really enjoyed when I was younger, and I would like to try it. And of course I had people who went, oh, well, you're not going to get anywhere, sort of thing. You have the detractors. And then I just went, well, you know what have I got to lose? So I put myself...
That look.
Yeah, that's right. So I put myself on a website called Star Now and started applying for things. And I started getting roles in student films, music videos, and then just slowly worked my way up, got myself an agent. I'm with Williams Talent down the Gold Coast, and just worked my way up to getting feature films. And then through Williams Talent, I got the big ones like Young Rock and that last year. So
that's a huge one.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you have met a lot of people on the sets, and that's how we met, Lynne.
Yes.
So that area is a creative industry, right? So what is the difference that you can see with the education, what you actually have done for 25 years and this creative industry? What's the difference you're seeing?
The big difference is that when I was going on sets, I actually felt valued, which might sound very strange, but that was, yes, I actually felt valued and I had worth.
That's...
I know.
Wow, straight off the face. Oh my God.
I'm just saying, and I'm not talking from having the student's perspective. Yeah, that's more from
management,
and admin and from the top down. Yeah. So, yeah, and sometimes with the students as well too, because I was teaching, my background is HPE, which is health and physical education, and originally science, but then I went into maths. So I used to teach grade 11 PVM, so pre-vocational maths, which was like the lower maths. So I usually had the students that didn't like maths, didn't want to be at school and didn't want to be in there. Yeah. So I had to work really hard to get their grades up and to help them through. So that was really rewarding, but at times it was very, very difficult. Any teacher that's watching this will know about the struggle that you have. Energy
draining too.
Oh, very much. Plus, of course, the marking and the reporting. I had a Facebook page, the memories that come up the other day, and it said, finally finished 90 pieces of assessment over the weekend, 60 exams and 30 books that I marked. And I just looked and went, I am so glad I do not have to do that anymore.
Wow.
Yes.
But when you are in that zone, when you're doing that, you don't realize, okay, what do I really want to do? The reason is you're so occupied.
Yes. And you don't know until you actually step away or walk away from it, you don't know how hard you've actually been working.
That's right. Lynne, you walked away. You walked away and you flew to India.
Yes. Well, I flew to India before I actually walked away.
Okay.
But I went through, as you know, like some very tough personal stuff in respect to, my family and things like that. And I just needed a total change of scenery. So my sister booked me on a flight and with Trinity Tours and sent me off to India in 2016.
Go away.
Yeah,
don't be here.
It was like that. I mean, I was in Chandigarh, right, in one of the hotels, and I just sort of got there, and everybody, because it was only a new hotel, and everyone was coming to the door and they're going, oh, mum, can we help you, sort of thing, and they were lovely. But I just got to a stage where I had to put do not disturb on the door because I was in a country I'd never been to before, very different country to where I come from. I was there by myself, and it was like just awing me, and overwhelming, and I just sat there and had a cry. As you do.
Yes.
As you do.
In a different country. What about the English-speaking skills over there?
Well, in the hotels and the main tourist areas, they're fairly good. It's when you sort of get, I went up to Manali and Mashabra because I went back to India a few times after that. And up in the Himalayas and sort of in the villages, the English is not so strong.
Yeah. So you've been to places like Manali?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That must be cold.
I loved it. I actually went, let me see when I was there, March I think it was. So it was sort of coming out of the winter season. But Mashabra, when I went up there, it was January and got stuck in a snowstorm. Up the top of the Himalayas at midnight trying to get through. I was in a taxi with a driver who had never seen snow, no chains on the car or anything like that. Nearly died in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
I will never forget that.
Scary.
It was like, I think it was 2 meters of snow fell within, I think it was about a 12-hour to 24-hour period.
You were stuck there?
Yes, for 3 days. 2 or 3 days, yeah.
2 or 3 days?
In Mashabra. We made the hotel, finally, and it was like a 500-metre climb up in the snow, and I dragged my suitcase up, and I'm like, because it's higher altitude, of course, so I was having trouble breathing at one stage, and then the hotel valets and that must have heard us coming and came down and offered to take the luggage, but by then I was pretty much there. So, and then we got there, and this was like left Chandigarh, I think it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we got to the Mashabra Hotel at about 1 in the morning, finally, right? So, I mean, that should only take about a 5-hour trip. And I remember going to the dining room and like there was hardly any food left, but we just got what the food was. And as I was about to put the spoon in my mouth, the lights went out. And I just sat there and went, "You're kidding me. No way."
What an experience.
Oh, it was, you know what, I don't regret it at all because I managed to live a snowstorm in the Himalayas. And we almost slid over the edge as well too. Our taxi was sliding into other cars and hitting them. And it was, it's unbelievable.
Okay, but you went back to India.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, I did. I did.
So it didn't scare you?
Yeah, no. So I went back the next time I was going to a wedding in Chandigarh, but I decided to volunteer with the children, the street children in Delhi. As you read out before, the first tour I did with Trinitra, one of the places we visited was Agra and with Mother Teresa's orphanage. And, you know, I thought when I walked in there, I would be feeling very upset and it would really emotionally drag at me because we'd driven between Delhi and Jaipur, and by the time I got to Jaipur, I was crying. I had a massive headache because I was just looking at the people on the sides of the roads, you know, the people there just moving a rock from one place to another, and that was their job for the day for 1 rupee.
That's right.
And then you've got the kids eating out of the rubble with the animals as well too and stuff. And for me, coming from Australia, it was just too overwhelming. So I felt that when I walked into Mother Teresa's orphanage, I would feel the same way, but I didn't because the children were so well cared for and the older children cared for the younger ones. So they had a lot of children in cots, but they also had disfigured children as well too. But I felt they were really the lucky ones. And they provide for adults. I think they had about 50 adults there as well too. We didn't get to see them. We just got to see the children in the cots.
So that made you to go back to India to volunteer?
Yes, I vowed that night that because India had given me so much in that like 3 weeks that I first went, I just decided that I wanted to go back and give back.
So what do you mean by gave me so much?
Well, I came from, as I said, a lot of personal stuff was going on and I just had to make a break. And one of the things when I went back to Australia was, apart from taking the Bollywood workshop with me and going, I want to do Bollywood, it was a case of I got back and just decluttered. I had been decluttering before then, but my mind, I think, was decluttered after seeing the poverty and how other people lived. And I just went back and went, you've got no complaints.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. So, you know, Lynne, your life experiences, as you said, that 25 years you were in the education field, and then you start your career, like 5 years back, you start your acting and modeling career. You know, were you scared?
Oh, yeah. Look, yes, I was like, as I said, when I put myself on, I had people who were detractors, and they were like, you're not going to do any good or anything like that. And I always remember my first one was a student film at St Andrew's Church in Vulture Street in Brisbane, and I was like, you have to bring on the student films and some of the lower budget films, you have to bring your own wardrobe and do your own hair and makeup and everything. So I'm like, you know, the day before, go, okay, what can I bring on set? I was a wedding guest in this TVC for the student. I think it was Griffith that was the students that were doing it. So yeah, I was, but you know what? You meet such lovely people on set, and what I love about it is that it's not your Instagram people that are on acting sets. You've got all different sizes, shapes, races, ages.
Real people, you mean?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, real people. I didn't know whether I was going to get to that point or not, but thank you. Yes,
No
real
filters.
People. Yes.
No filters.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so I started from there and then just applied for as much as I could. I went on a music video for a Malaysian artist, Jessie Chung, and she gets like millions of views on her YouTube channel and things. And that's where I met one of the ladies who taught Bollywood in Brisbane. So that was sort of the start of the Bollywood journey for me. But I didn't start until the next year. It wasn't until I sort of went back and danced with Delhi Dance Academy in the workshop, and then came back and found Somewhere, which was Bollywood Connections in West End, that the Bollywood really started. But the acting, played all sorts of different characters, and I just decided that I really loved it, and I was just going to do as much as I can, and if I failed, I failed. If I didn't, world's the oyster.
So you are a part of Bollywood Connections. You were a part of Bollywood Connections, and now you're a part of Bollywood Reconnections.
Yep.
So explain me the transition.
So I danced with Bollywood Connections. I found them in 2017, and we performed like at the Ekka, Diwali, Holi, lots of events. And then Liv Fisher had to step away from them at the end of 2019, but us as a performance crew, we still wanted to keep going. So I said to Liv, well, how about I take performance crew over? I don't really want to take any new students on because I really don't have that major experience of teaching Bollywood as such because I'm just learning myself. So I took over the crew at the end of 2019. So we started 2020. We had all these things booked and of course COVID hit. So we managed to get in. We danced out at Victoria Point at one of the retirement villages out there, which was absolutely lovely. We had like 150 people, 200 people watching us, which was great. Then we danced at Holi and we did the Brisasia Festival. So we managed to get those ones in before COVID hit. So I continued with the group, and what we did was we decided that I would do things online. So we'd rehearse online still, but again, I felt as though I really needed to have classes and learn. So I contacted Nazir from the Delhi Dance Academy because they started doing online Zoom classes. And I said, Nazir, would you like to do one? Maybe could you do one Monday night for us instead of our classes here because we can't go, because of COVID. And he said yes. So he got Aditar and Shabnam to start off with us. So we would do a class every Monday night from 7:30 to 8:30, so just 1 hour. And we would do like a set of monthly classes. So we'd learn one dance choreography in 1 month. Then we would have a little break usually, then we'd learn another one. So we've learnt quite a few over the last year because we've been still doing that. And two of the choreographies we decided to take to performance, which was Radhi and Lal Gagri. And so we performed them here in Brisbane. Very honoured to be able to perform Shabnam's choreography. And they watch as well too. So we did Fijian celebration the other night and we did 6 dances and we did Radhi and Lal, and I sent the link to Nazir and Shabnam and Aditar over in Delhi and they watched as well too, and I sent it to Tapas from Trinitra and Amit from Jamgat. So everyone got to see us perform our dances. So yes, and then this year I think we've probably maybe done at least 10 to 12 events already, and we've still got a couple more to go until the end of the year. And so what I do is before we go to perform, especially if it's a big one, we were ready to perform at the Ekka and we had a 2-hour rehearsal the week before, and that day they sent us into lockdown in the afternoon.
Yes.
And we missed out on the Ekka.
Is it still happening next weekend? Coming weekend?
No, that was the Ekka. That was back in August. So yes, but we rehearsed really solidly for that because we were doing 6 dances back to back.
Oh wow, 6 dances.
Yes, and they're all different. We were doing starting with Mahari, then going into Radhi, so we had the dandiya sticks, then doing Dum again, then we were doing Dolaray, Lal Gagri, and then we were doing Indiawali, which is usually our finale dance.
I love the Indiawali.
Oh, it's so good. You'll have to join us on stage sometime doing that.
I should. I love your crew. You have all multicultural background crew. So tell me more about them.
Well, we all come from different walks of life. We all have different jobs. Like John, who's our Scotsman, he's a physio. And then you have like different nationalities. We have a couple of Indians. We have a couple of Chinese as well too. A lovely Indonesian lady.
Fiji.
Yep. So it's just lovely to have a really diverse group. And I think people love us because we have a passion about us and energy. We're not a professional group as such in respect to technique, but we have just passion and love,
which is so important.
We love to dance.
Yes, we can see that in the group. So there's around 8 to 10
About 12 to 13 people. We had like about 15 people, but unfortunately, Dagesh, one of our members, is stuck in Bahrain and he can't get back, unfortunately. So, hi Dagesh. Yes, and we've had just some members who've had some injuries as well too, plus surgeries and things like that. So, yeah, we actually have about 16, 17 on our messenger chat. And at any time, we usually will have anywhere between about 3 to like 12 or 13 dancers on board.
Coordinating and bringing everybody together is not easy. And I have seen you booking the halls, making sure that you go and do the dances.
Yeah.
So which is very, very tough gig to do, right?
Yes.
How do you manage it, Lynne?
Well, being a high school teacher and in a phys ed at that, I used to organise carnivals. So I would organise cross-country, athletics, swimming, carnivals with 120 teachers to be rostered on and 1,500, 1,200 students.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of people.
Yes. So that's a skill that I actually have, like a bit of an organisation skill. I love running events. I've run a couple of fashion shows previously, a number of years ago now, but we had 600 people in the audience and I did like a 2-hour show and I scripted it with a narration. I modelled in it as well too, plus I also choreographed for the other models as well too. So it was a 2-hour, we went right through from swimwear to wedding dresses and I did that a couple of times. So yeah.
Exciting.
Yes.
Exciting. So no wonder you know what happens in fashion shows. So you are like there doing your gig and you've been a part of red carpet for the last 2.5 years
Yes,
now.
thank you so much.
No,
that was
fun.
a game changer for me as well too, because I hadn't modelled since I was, in my late teens sort of thing. When family and everything like that came along, you sort of put those things on the back burner. So it's been a wonderful experience, and the fact that I get to represent Australia as a stockman as well.
And you do it so well.
Thank you. Well, for those who don't know, I wear a dryzer bone and I wear an akubra hat, which is, thank you, my brother-in-law, Peter, who lends me those things, plus the boots, the jeans, and also a whip. It is a real whip, and one day I will get to crack it on stage, but it's too hard when there's other models
around you.
On there, yes. So I love that, and I also love too with the red carpet functions now. I love the fact that you portray with the models, different sizes, ages, genders, and some of my Bollywood crew have come on board now and modelled with you.
So important, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Bring every age, colour, size together. That's what I like about the Bollywood Reconnections.
Yes.
You've got every age group.
Yes.
And performing and dancing and with passion, with love.
Yes.
You don't have to be a size 6 and 6 foot high model to wear clothes.
No.
You can be of any size and showcase the designs.
Yes.
Indie vibes.
Yes. This is, thank you, the lovely Christina Darn. This is a lovely, would you like me to hop up?
Yes.
So this is a lovely Indie Vibes top. So I'm a little, on the website, one of the Indie Vibes models on there.
Ambassador.
Yes, I am. And the lovely Christina Darn also dances with me as well too.
Yes.
So, yes, that has been lovely. So I'm doing that, and also a wholesaler called Minty Bell as well too. I'm doing some modelling for her website, for her clients with the clothing.
So it's so amazing to know this, Lynne, that it doesn't matter what age, it doesn't matter what career you had, you can leave everything in any stage of your life.
Yes.
And you can start from zero, you can start fresh.
Yes. And that's what I think. It was really hard for me to leave the education department, but the fact that I had to take some medical leave with everything that happened, and that was when I really had a big think. And, at the end of the day, I had no email, no phone call, nothing even to say goodbye. So loyalty these days means nothing. How do you feel about loyalty?
I've got nothing to say.
It's just, after you've spent, and I spent a lot of time at this particular school and nothing, after all those years of the hard slog and everything like that. So I knew it was the right decision when I made it.
Absolutely. And look at you now.
Yes.
Full of life.
Yes.
And yes, it must have been very hard for you to leave. When you say it was hard for you to leave, is it because of the money part?
Well, that's always a factor, isn't it? Because
is.
when you're an actress or an actor, It's a roller coaster. So when it's good, it's good. When it's not, it's not. So you have lots of lull areas as well too. So like the first half of this year, I haven't done a lot of acting stuff. It's now starting to come through. So I've been on 2 major productions in the last month. So it's now starting to come through. So that's why I decided to do some work at kindy. So I swapped over from high school to kindy, but the funny thing is that I actually have to do a Cert 3 in kindy because having a diploma in Bachelor of Education doesn't cut it.
For kindy.
Or being a mother. I know.
So being in kindy and being in school is two big difference because you don't have to do any paperwork here, right?
No. But I actually, the first hour that I go there, I teach them dance.
I love that.
So I teach them like we do like your normals, baby sharks and things like that. But I also teach them Bollywood as well too, and just like some salsa and samba and other things that I've done, plus some languages. I teach them a little bit of Spanish as well too, because languages I like to do as well too. I've been studying Spanish for about 5 years now, and Hindi and Arabic for the last couple of years, and Mandarin. So they're sort of newer languages for me, but I just enjoy them. I have no idea how I do Arabic because it's like you don't read it left to right; it's right to left, and
that's right.
So I don't even know how my brain works on that.
Excellent. So you've been learning languages. That's really good. So in the journey of life, you need to learn new skills that keeps you going.
Yes, correct.
That's the advice.
And just take opportunities. You know, sometimes you don't know why you're doing this particular thing, but just take it anyway, because in the scheme of things, you'll probably work it out at some stage. And the other thing too is that I'm the sort of person that can cheer from the sideline as well too. So sometimes you watch people achieving great success, people that you know, but I'm not the sort of person to turn around and envy their success. I've learnt that over the years, to put any envy, any jealousy away, because my path is different, their path is different, and I like to celebrate their achievements as well too, because I know at some stage my path is going to continue as well too.
I like that. I really like that. No jealousy, no ego.
No, you really have to keep it out. You really do.
Yeah. And support each other.
Yes, and that's what I like about red carpet functions as well too, because you do have to support each other. I mean, life can be really, really tough and a really hard struggle, and there's lots of people out there doing it tough at the moment. So I just try and bring some positivity wherever I can.
Yes. So acting, dancing, learning skills of languages. What else?
I love doing Zumba as well too.
Yes.
And hello to my Zumba girls, my Zumba ladies tonight. So I really enjoy that. I did salsa and samba as dancers a few years ago and enjoyed them as well too. But you sort of, it does take its toll on your body. I found out earlier this year I had a chronic fracture in my back, which I didn't even know I had. Yes. So I had to stop dancing for about 6 weeks to get it fixed.
And that was because of Zumba?
I don't know, probably not Zumba. I don't know what it's from. It just happened at some particular time over the last few years, and I didn't know it was there until my back totally seized. So, I just had to cut back the dancing and things. But I love sport as well too. Over the years I've played touch football, soccer. I've played competitive soccer and like we've won grand finals and things. I was in this amazing soccer team and we went through I think it was like half a year, and we won every game and won the grand final, and we scored like 109 goals, and I think we only had about 7 scored against us, and I scored the 100th goal, so I was excited.
Oh, wow.
So I love that. I love, I played touch football, volleyball, basketball. Love my sport as well.
So many things.
Yes.
So many things that you are doing and you have done.
Exactly.
Right.
And one of the other things is I have a little dog called Buddy. He's a Moodle. And I love teaching him tricks as well too.
Yes, I'll be seeing that tomorrow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
How old is Buddy?
Buddy is now 8 years old. But Buddy has been, I would call, a very difficult fur kid. He was a very badly behaved dog and went through puppy preschool, junior preschool, and then worked his way up. We were there for a year because for through junior puppy school, whichever you call it, for 6 weeks. We would get to the field and he would just bark at every other dog, not do anything, and try and go for them. And there was this one time, the lady who ran it, Jo, who's an amazing person, she says he's the naughtiest dog she's ever had in her group. And there was this one time where I'd had it was really hard things going on in my personal life, and I took Buddy down to do our normal training. I'm like, oh, please, Bud, please don't bark, please don't bark. Anyway, I just got him a new lead, and so we went down there, and he saw this bulldog and decided to go for this bulldog. He's only like this big, so he decided to go for the bulldog, and the lead came out of my hand, and as it did, I went to get him, and it was a bit wet on the grass, and I've slipped and gone up. My feet are in the air, my butt is on the ground, I'm lying there, and Joe's just run over to get Buddy to stop him going for this bulldog, and I'm just lying on the ground going, I can't do this, I can't do this, and just, I've had enough. Yeah. And Joe said to me, she goes, Lynne, why don't you put him into tricks class? I said, come on, Joe, you're asking for trouble here. You know how badly behaved he is. She goes, no, I think he's quite smart. I think he's just a bit bored. So anyway, I started tricks class with Joe, and he's very smart. He can do all sorts of tricks. He can reverse around me. He can go through my legs. He can dance on his legs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all in the video that I sent you.
Looking forward to see that.
Yes.
So you look after Buddy too.
Yes.
Wow. So tell me about work-life balance.
Well, I'm only a casual at the kindy, which is great. And the fact that my daughter actually runs it helps. So I just sort of ring her up and go, listen, I've got an audition, or I'm on set, I can't come in this week. And she goes, oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. So because that's the thing with the acting world, is that I can sent a message or text or whatever, and I can have to be in an audition tomorrow morning. So I've got to turn around and I've got to go and grab.
So the work-life balance is have a daughter who works at...
Yes. Yes, at a daycare centre. Make sure you have family that you can just ring up and go, can't come in. Sorry, can't come in today.
I'm available 3 days. Okay,
Yes.
can I come in? Can you give me some shifts?
Yes, exactly. So,
Wow.
and the thing is also, luckily these days with the big productions, you have to go for a COVID test a couple of days beforehand, so within 48 hours. So you at least get, a little bit of notice now, whereas before you might have got a call sheet the night before saying you need to be on set at like 3 o'clock in the morning or 3:30 in the morning. So, and the stints are big. People sort of say, oh, it must be really glamorous and, fantastic to be on set. But you could be sitting on set for usually I'm on about 13 or 15 hours straight. And of that time, I might even just only work an hour. So the other time is like hair, makeup, if you're on a big production. Otherwise, you've got to do it yourself. And then just sitting around waiting to go on set. So it's a lot of sitting around and waiting. So you really have to be very patient.
Yeah. So what's the advice you would like to give to the upcoming actors who would love to follow the path that you're in?
Just take any opportunity that comes up. Do the student films, which are a great way to start. Get yourself an agent if you want to be on some of the bigger productions, because usually they will just go through the agents. And do things like, I'm doing voiceovers as well too at the moment. So do some workshops. There's lots of lovely workshops out there at the moment, and that can really help you with your skills. American accent is another one. So that's one that I'm going to be going to.
I like it. I like it.
Yes, because there's a lot of American productions around at the moment, so I need to work on my American accent.
Wow.
And then the last question I would like to ask you is that what would
You tell your younger self.
I would tell my younger self to not stay in teaching for so long. I actually didn't want to be a teacher, but I come from a long line of teachers. So back sort of when I was doing everything, everyone sort of tended to stay in the same job forever. Yeah. Whereas now people swap jobs to jobs. So I would tell my younger self to be confident, go out in the world a little bit earlier than what I did, and just still follow your passions and don't worry about failure, because if you fail, you learn.
That's right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Lynne, today.
Thank you, Rena, for having me. Thank you, Community Impact and Indoz.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.